republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Any public comment?
My name is Mark Lapp, and I live directly across from the firehouse on Little Road. I have an issue with the unnecessary fire siren that is being used. It's extremely loud and sometimes goes off 3 times a day. Very much bothers my dog and duck. If it was a necessary siren, I'd be okay with it, but it is not. It's a nostalgia. The firemen receive alerts. Give me a second. The firemen receive alerts with phones and pagers when called for emergency. We have lived at this property for 22 years. The siren hasn't been used in years, but recently it was started up again. To me, this is a slap in the face. I think it is disrespectful to the neighbors. I work around heavy equipment and a lot of noise. My home is my refuge. Recently, while my wife and I were watching the news, someone kept blowing the horn on one of the trucks every 10 minutes. This went on for an hour. How is that acceptable? I do want to apologize to the guys I yelled at. It was not my finest hour. I know a lot of the guys there are good men. I'm just asking for neighborly courtesy. I would like to read to you Upper Frederick Township's Ordinance, Chapter 109, Purpose. And I'm passing off here, sorry.
The purpose of this chapter is to ensure that the public health, safety, and welfare are not abridged by noise pollution nor public nuisance from disturbing, excessive, or offensive noises within Upper Frederick Township. The Board of Supervisors of Upper Frederick Township recognizes that uncontrolled noise represents a danger to the health, safety, and welfare of the general public, and that each person in the township is entitled to enjoy an environment in which the level of impulsive and amplified noise is controlled and minimized. It is the purpose and scope of this chapter to provide regulations defining the maximum sound levels that people, vehicles, and appliances and equipment shall be allowed to produce and at specified distances and locations, and to prohibit certain other types of offensive noise. These regulations and prohibitions are intended to protect the physical, emotional, mental, and social well-being of the general public within Upper Frederick Township.
Perfect. No one's here from the firehouse, I guess, to hear that. I'll definitely relay your message to the firehouse, and definitely have empathy for your speaking. Whenever I give a speech at our church, it was the same way. This is like the first time I'm hearing about it, so I don't know anything about it. So I will pass this along, or have Sean reach out to the fire company, convey your message to them, and
Thank you.
see what we can do about it moving forward here.
Thank you.
All right. Anybody else? Okay. All right. Approval of the November 13th and December 11th meeting minutes.
I make a motion. Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
You snuck up on me, Lee.
Signing in,
Oh, okay.
ignore me at this point.
I'm sorry.
Am I okay now?
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
I make a motion to approve the minutes of November 13th and December 11th.
I second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Reports? Sean, you want
Yes.
to go ahead with the,
So the treasurer's report is not yet available. The bills list is included here, but I'd ask that the board table the treasurer's report until the next meeting, which time we'll read that. For emergency services, Plymouth Ambulance has reported for the month of December a total of 30 calls throughout the township, 22 at Frederick Living. which brought the year-to-date calls to 349 for the township and 179 for Frederick Living. Just to confirm, nobody is here from the fire department to read the fire department? Okay.
So,
Yeah, so Upper Frederick Fire Company reports total calls for the month of December at 21. Let's see, total hours in service, 6 hours, 25 minutes. The year-to-date total was 183 calls with 97 hours and 10 minutes of call time. Year-to-date activities for 2024 total volunteer hours came to 4,978 and 1/2 hour.
okay, just as a comment right there, so I'm noticing again, we got the alarm activation notifier. I believe the last time we were over there, you and I spoke to the admin over there. We talked about this here. So again, this month we got 9 more. Maybe we want to follow up with them and see what we're going to do here moving forward.
Yeah, you can do it at the end of the reports if you want. Bill's just reminding that you need to actually approve the bill list, but you can do it at the end of the reports if you
Right.
want.
I don't see Matt here from, oh yeah, I'm sorry, there you are.
There you are.
No violations to report, plants are running pretty good. I should say plants are running good. Only 2 little minor things with the cold weather, a couple little frozen pipes, but
To be expected.
yeah, with how cold it was.
Did those pumps or mixers or whatever that we ordered, did they come in?
No, I have no mixers.
Okay.
Um,
We got any word on that when they're coming?
I haven't heard anything.
Okay.
Last email I got was I think I forwarded it to Sean for, they wanted the tax number.
Okay.
And I haven't heard anything. I can talk with them. And we're finished, Deb and I were finishing up all the stuff from the inspection from the water plant with DEP, to get that all finalized. Pretty much have everything done. The only thing she needs is all the new contact people.
Okay, is this for the Chapter 94 report?
No, this is the DEP, when we had the water inspection, and every year it's somebody new that seems to come,
Okay.
and then they always find different things, so that's why you always end up, we fixed everything, and all of a sudden now there's new stuff, so, no big deal.
Sure.
But most of it was all just clerical stuff, like see, none of the people, our sheet, nothing's up to date. It still has like Tracy and old engineers and.
Okay, can I keep this?
Yes, that's for you, if you can update it and then forward it to Debbie or to me or something, so she can finish that and then she can submit it to DEP. And there were some other things, like they wanted us to monitor the chlorine every 15 minutes going into the water. And because we had an old unit on the wall, but talked to a guy and he said, well, if you take that off, now you don't have to do it. So that's fine.
Okay.
So we're gonna take that down and everything should be squared away then.
Okay. All right, perfect. You just send an email if we hear anything about that, the mixers or anything like that, if you can send an email in to us. You email,
Okay.
Matt?
Huh?
You email?
Yeah.
I didn't see that for me, so I didn't know. But yeah, if you could email it in, let us know, that'd be awesome. Appreciate
Okay.
it.
Yeah, I think that's about it. Was there any discussion on the water plant upgrades or anything?
I'll actually be speaking with the Perk Crossing HOA later this week.
Okay.
So we'll get some information from them as far as their plans, because whatever work goes on there is going to come out of that fund.
Yes, yes.
So if they draw down their capital reserves for these projects, then there's the possibility in the future they may need to raise, we may need to raise the rates to keep that fund solvent. So that's a conversation the board wanted to include the Perk Crossing HOA in, and once we hear back from them, I'll reach out to you and share the news.
Okay, yeah, because one of the things, DP, I didn't have no spare pumps, because we just put 2 new ones in, and we were on hold waiting to see what, and I explained it, we were waiting to see if we were gonna do the upgrades or not, no sense getting backups and just, that are obsolete, so, I just wanted to know what, I could tell them, or, should I start getting spares with existing stuff, how soon is it gonna happen? That kind of thing, that's all. Right now, they're working fine, except for the backflow preventers, they need to be replaced again, which that's gonna be expensive, but,
Is that another thing that we could look into, an alternative?
another what?
Another alternative instead of just
I don't know, I
replacing?
can ask. They didn't last long, but,
That's what I'm saying,
Yeah,
is this
they're right.
another $20,000 item we just keep replacing?
yeah,
As you can see, I don't wanna just keep replacing, let's figure something else out, you know what I mean?
I can ask them.
Please.
Are they fixable? Are the parts that wear out are replaceable?
I had tried the last time and, they would rather not because it's not 100% guaranteed that's they're not gonna leak back. So you just wasted all that time and money.
Apparently it's more to it than just a check valve, I guess.
It's actually, it's a valve about that big, but yeah, it's a check valve that goes this way with has a big spring in it, and a plunger, but they ended up, they leak around the seal, and it's just a metal to metal. And you can rebuild them, but they don't bother because they don't have good success with it.
Yeah.
And when you're talking about this is all at the Perkiomen crossing, this is all paid for by them?
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
They have their own fund for this here.
they have their own sewer and water plant.
The spring's internal or external? I'm trying to picture what leaks.
Pardon?
The spring is internal or
Yeah.
external?
That's all.
Or you mean it leaks through but not to the outside?
No, it leaks back into the
Like
storage.
Internal.
Yeah.
Frederick Department of Public Works, looks like we completed maintenance for the grinder, sand and paint the JD 35 excavator. They did some swell work, ditch work out on Creek Lane. Refacing some road signs they upgraded as well. Did the meter reading for the crossing and work orders as requested. And they got the Dodge new batteries. LTL?
Okay, LTL's updated the engineer's report for the month of January, distributed for the township for the supervisor's review, posted out in the hall, I believe, for public review. And just a couple of things of note. Albert Streck, I think we've spoken before about this, Sean. Can that come off the report? Is there anything left to do on that? I think escrow's been released.
I don't believe escrow has been released yet.
Okay.
If we have a closeout letter from LTL, we can go ahead and get the escrow release put on the next board agenda.
Okay, but my understanding also is that we don't have a copy of the recorded plan. It was released for them to record, we don't have, because I wouldn't recommend
Yeah, this
releasing
is
it
Miss
until we get one back.
Leidy's.
Yep.
Yeah, I have not received any confirmation from her regarding recording of the final plan, so,
Okay.
yeah, we would absolutely want to do that before
Okay.
releasing escrow.
Because that would be my first question, before issuing a letter to the township recommending release of escrow, I would say, do we have a recorded copy of the flat files? So if we don't have that yet, then that would probably be step one. So it's just kind of bizarre that if they've reported the plans, that they didn't ask for their escrow back, and all we want is a set of plans, so.
Yeah, they got the landscaping escrow back. We have a few $100s of remaining escrow that would be released with this, but again, the final
Okay.
plan.
Okay, so we'll hold off on that.
Will you
Then-
follow up on that?
Yeah, I'll email Marcia and see if that's been, if that hasn't been, when it will be.
Okay, and then we did get a revised resubmission for Three Dog, and that's currently being reviewed by LTL. We'll issue an updated review letter on that shortly. Other than that, that's it, unless you have any questions.
John, you got John's report for zoning?
Yes, actually, I do. I spoke with John about that, and while we didn't go into the inspections, they generally tend to speak for themselves, more about the zoning issues. And with regards to 1847 Perkiomen Road, as well as 1732 Becker Road, he's essentially waiting for some feedback from the township as far as how to handle that, because he doesn't really have anything that he can put his finger on to be able to cite them anything, and there's been some communications with Vicky as well on that.
Which one was that, Norm?
Actually, for either of them. As far as the vehicles being
Next
repaired
page,
on the fluids and
1847.
stuff.
Yeah, there's still an engine hanging out on a stand that's been there since beginning of
Right.
summer. There's a lot of stuff still going on up there.
Okay, well, if John could take another look at it if something has changed. When he was out there, he said there wasn't anything that they were doing that was violating any of the township ordinances at the time.
Right.
So, and then the same thing goes with Perkiomen Road. While Ms. Stone is difficult to track down at times, we tried to go with not with being able to call, that not an RV, I think John had said, and basically there's nothing there that we can get her with. So,
I've talked to her, and I think if we can table it till spring, if she doesn't do the parking lot, the weeds and stuff out of the parking lot and trees this spring, then I think you do have
that is
something to
something,
allow.
and that's what John said too.
Right.
Now, she tries to fight it and say that it's some kind of preserve
Habitat for
or
the
something.
No, I've talked to her about that, and there are sections of her yard
Yeah.
where she can do that,
Right,
and I don't really think you can fight it,
Right.
but the parking lot, you can't grow.
that's right, yeah, exactly.
So,
How in this type of weather somebody is living in a van or, whatever.
it's a heavy-duty cord that's going into the engine compartment of that van. It's not just a regular extension cord, it is like a
Generator.
short cable for
Yeah.
an RV.
Wow.
That, I don't know what she's doing, but I can't, and I've reviewed the ordinances too, I
Yeah.
can't find anything.
And that's what John had said. He said, our direction was clear. There's just nothing that
Mhm.
we can find that we could do something about at this point.
Right, and
So
come,
springtime.
I think if we
yes.
reach out to her, send a letter out to her and tell her, springtime, you gotta come in compliance with the parking lots and stuff as far as getting it cleared before they grow stuff in. And once they grow, she starts cleaning the critters that live there and stuff. But
Right.
if we take care of that, at the beginning of spring,
Mhm.
it'll look better down there, one, and two, and if she doesn't,
Okay.
we can move forward with doing compliance.
I told her, since she's older, if she couldn't do it, we have a response crew at my church that would be more than happy to come down there. They were gonna do it for a neighbor of mine without even knowing, that they didn't live there anymore, they had passed. So that was another option
It
for
was,
her in the
it was
spring
offered to
too.
her, but
Yeah.
like I said, if it
Yeah.
doesn't happen this spring, then we can go with
And I'll
enforcement.
pass this information on to John and make sure
Okay.
it's kept up.
And if he wants anybody to go out to Becker Road, we can tell him, just give me a call.
Okay.
Yeah, she seemed to be receptive to Bill.
Yeah, okay, great. Good.
Look at her say.
Yeah, it's only a mother to love her, a blind lady.
She
All
was,
right, so Lisa, you wanna make your motion there?
Oh, we got 3 more reports. We have Planning Commission,
Oh, yeah, we did.
Central
Park
Perkiomen
Valley.
Valley, Regional
Both,
Planning Commission.
Bob, you?
Parks.
Buck, you got anything for the planning commission, Buck?
I need to throw me under the bus.
Hey,
No, we're gonna, the blasting ordinance, the neighborhood modding, and the impact fees, which is the big ticket item.
Okay,
We're ready, if Vicki has it ready on her end, we're
Okay.
ready to do it.
and regional was no meeting in December, our meeting will be January 20th at TRAP.
okay.
All meetings will be at TRAP this year.
So when you wanna do the parks and rec, Buck?
Yeah, the last Parks and Rec Board meeting, it was brief. I was actually attending the Planning Commission meeting scheduled that same evening, but minutes are being crafted and will be posted to reflect it. On the agenda was basically forecasting for the 2025 year. The 4 members of that board who left basically said that the next incoming board should address that. But looking back historically, most of the events are these predictably reoccurring. You have, Community Day, tree lighting. So staff in the Public Works Department are prepared to handle those, and we're soliciting interest from residents who wish to serve on the park board. Currently, who is our remaining?
Tracy
Harper is our remaining, she was just reappointed, so, yeah, once we fill that board, they're gonna begin meeting quarterly as opposed to monthly. So their first meeting will be in March of this year, and we will go from there.
Okay, back to the bills to be paid. I make a motion to approve bills in the amount of $80,778.59 to prevent penalties and interest.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Then next, under new business, Vicki, I guess I'll turn it over to you. We have the consideration of 2 ordinance adoptions.
Yes, so 2 ordinances tonight. The very first one is an amendment to the supervisor compensation ordinance to increase the yearly amount to $3,145. This is in accordance with an amendment that was passed by the state legislature. The 3 sitting members today will not take advantage of that. You will continue to be paid at the old amount unless you are reelected and reseated. And then when each individual is reelected and reseated, you are entitled to receive the increased compensation. So you are not voting tonight currently to increase your own compensation, just future board members' compensation. And it's been advertised, and if it's okay with you, you can move forward with adoption.
Good.
I make a motion to adopt ordinance 2025-01, amendment to chapter 56-1, supervisors compensation.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And the second ordinance for your consideration tonight is actually a recommendation coming from the Planning Commission that has to do with the chapter in your township ordinance related to wood-fired boilers. There were 2 provisions in the ordinance that required township residents to comply with stricter requirements than what the state law allows. Those restrictions were distance from buildings to the wood-fired boiler and then the height of the required stack. This ordinance changes what the township ordinance says to put those in line with what the state requirements are. So it will actually make requirements easier for residents of the township.
Any questions on that? I make a motion to adopt ordinance 2025-02, amendment to chapter 103-13 wood-fired boilers.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Everybody run out and go by there now. Not exactly cheap. Old business, there is none. Planning Commission meets January 30th at 7 p.m. The holiday tree recycling dates, locations, dates of pickup are Monday, or on a Monday, the 13th and 20th. Locations and drops are the end of Ivy Lane in the cul-de-sac, intersection of Clover Lane and Faust, Township Building at the Public Works Gate, Buck Road across from Glenwood Drive.